Hi, welcome to my channel. So today in this video you can see there is a multimeter, and today I will show you how to use a digital multimeter or DMM. This video is for all, from beginners to pro, from beginners and pros also. So stay to the end of the video, so learn something new. So first of all, there are also two probes with this multimeter. This multimeter is a Unity UT33C plus model. These are all the features of it. First of all, you have to understand how to connect these probes. So probe is always for this common or negative, and positive lead is for all the functions, for this ampere reading, and for these all the functions. Connect it right. Otherwise your multimeter will give readings in minus. So let's start. As you can see that these are all the functions of a multimeter. Let's start from the right side. As you can see that this V stands for the voltage sign, and this straight lining and dotted is represents the DC voltage. So this range is for the DC voltage, this section from 200 millivolts to 600 volts. Means if you can measure the voltage as low as 200 millivolts and maximum up to 600 volts from this section. Let me show you by an example. So here's the phone battery, which is rated for 4 volts. We already know that this is 4 volts battery or something. So we have to set the voltage to 20 volts. As you can see that voltage is set to 20 volts. As you can see that it's showing 4.15 volts. The minus sign represents you are connecting the probes backwards. So when we connect with the correct polarity, it will show the positive 4.15 volts. So for more voltage like 200 volt DC or 600 volt DC, we have to set the voltage to 200 or 600. So what happen? There's a question. What happen if we set the voltage reading to 200 millivolts or 2000 millivolts and check the high voltage with it? What will happen? Let me show you. I have set the voltage to 2000 millivolts, which is approximately equal to 2 volts. So as you can see that the battery is of 4 volts and the reading range is up to 2000 millivolts, means 2 volts. So it can't measure more than that. So it shows the OL sign, means over limit sign. So when I turn it up to for 20 volt reading, it gives the correct reading. So in this way you have to check the voltage. The next, you can see that here is the voltage frequency sign. Here means this range is for measuring the AC voltage, AC lines, which is as low as 200 and maximum 600 volts. So here's the extension code. We have the 220 volts at the output from the main power plug. So let's measure the AC voltage. I have set it to 200 volts. I already know that its output is 240 volts. So let's connect it. As you can see that it's more than 200 volts. That's why it's showing the over limit sign. Set it to 600 volts. Then as you can see that it's giving 232 volts. Most important point to note here is that always make sure you have set the multimeter probe to this voltage or section, never on the current section while measuring the voltage, because when you set it to ampere setting, you will simply short the terminals, because ampere meter always measures the current in the series, not in parallel. Voltage, resistance, and all the other things we measure in the parallel. Only the ampere is measured in the series. So let's continue to the next step. As you can see that it's the Fahrenheit and Celsius sign. There's a special probe which measures the temperature here, like this. As you can see that when you connect this and set to Fahrenheit, because it's the, as you can see that when I short the probes, it's giving me temperature, because it works on the principle of thermocouple. When you connect these probes, this uh, works as a sensor. There exists a special probe which measure the temperature here. So let's continue to the next step. As you can see that this section is for the resistance. This is the sign of ohm. So this section from 200 ohms to 20 mega ohms, we can measure the resistance. So let me show you with an example. This is the 10 kilo ohms resistor. 10 kilo ohm resistor here, and for measuring the resistance I am setting it to 20k. There is no polarity in measuring the resistance. You can connect forward and backwards both. As you can see that it's giving 9.5 kilo ohms. 10k resistance or any other resistance, there is a tolerance of 5 to 10%. So 10k or kilo ohm resistance is giving me 9.58 kilo ohms. So it's okay, there's nothing wrong. So let's continue further. You can see that here's the 2000 ohm, and I'm having 1k resistor here. This is 1k 2-watt resistor. Let me show you by connecting it to the probes. As you can see that setting was on 2000 ohms, and it's giving me 975 ohms because the resistor is 1 kilo ohms with the tolerance of plus minus 10% to 5 to 10%. So it's also okay. For higher resistance measuring, we can switch it to 200k or 20 mega ohms. So now I am having this 33 ohms 2-watt resistor. Let me show you. I will measure it by putting the setting on 200 ohms. You can see that it's giving me 33 ohms. So it's okay. Always go from lower to higher setting. Means if this resistor is 1 kilo ohm, if you connect it to the probes, it will give the over limit sign, as I mentioned above, for all the parameters like voltage, current, and etc. So for that, when you slowly rise to the upper limit, this can give you the correct reading. Also, because if you set it to means 20 mega ohms and measure the lower resistance, it will give you 0, because 20 mega ohms, it's the big number. So always start from lower to higher current reading, sorry, resistance reading. So this function indicates the continuity and the diode mode. When I set to the continuity mode, you can see that it's for checking continuity, like this, that the circuit is open or closed, like this. If I check something with a lower resistance or closed circuit, you can see that it's giving me resistance, not giving sign because the resistance is more than 10 ohms. Also, when I, so here's the small transformer, I'm going to check the continuity of its primary coil. You can see that its primary coil is okay, means it's connected, not internally disconnected, with a resistance of 0.2 ohms, while the secondary coil resistance is high. That's why it's not giving the reading. For measuring the uh, resistance of the secondary coil, we have to set the multimeter to resistance mode. So you can also do that. The next is this diode mode. So to set the diode mode, we have to press the select. So now the multimeter is on diode mode. Here's the diode. So we have to connect it, the probes. You can see that with the forward biased, diode is giving 0.5 volts voltage drop, and if we connect it backwards, it will not show any reading or over limit reading. So and also if the diode is short, it will give you the this zero rating, means that the diode is faulty. This diode is okay, so that's why it's giving me voltage drop. So the next step is to check this function. This is a stands for ampere, and this sign is for the ampere, DC ampere. This sign is for the DC. So let's measure. So to measure the current, we have to connect the probe in this current side, because the ammeter always measures the current in the series, not in parallel. So for measuring the current, I'm using this LED connected with battery. Let's connect it. So you can see that the LED is glowing. So to check the current through the LED, I have to connect the ampere meter in series. So let's set it to, its smallest rating is 2000 microampere and up to 10 amperes max. There is also written here, you can measure 10 amperes maximum. So I have set it to the 10 ampere reading. Let's measure now. As you can see that it's giving 1.004, means LED is glowing at 1 amperes. Now there's also the resistance of these probes, some resistance of these probes. You can see that it's showing 1 ampere. So the maximum current which you can measure with this multimeter is 10 amperes max. There are other meters like clamp meter which measures the current by clamp for the values of up to 600 amperes or 1000 amperes max. That's the other topic. So it was a tutorial of using this multimeter. So it was totally simple. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for the next video.